Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. What a wonderful day it looks like it is. I'm looking out the window at your day, and it looks wonderful. It doesn't look as humid when you're looking at it through the window. Now, when you go out in it, it's a little bit different. But from looking out my window into where you are in your world, it looks wonderful. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I've been watching the president's Twitter feed this morning, bracing myself for whatever may be thrust out about Jeff Sessions. Yesterday, very irritated. I'm personally irritated with the way that Jeff Sessions is being treated. Now, please understand if you continue to listen that I am biased. Jeff Sessions has publicly acknowledged my mother. Jeff Sessions in a public, he was speaking at an event and did publicly talk about my mother as being a good person, and that has biased me, and it's unavoidable. A guy like Jeff Sessions says something nice about your mama, I'm in his corner. I'm going to be in his corner. I'm biased in his favor for his kind words about my mother. And he said a kind thing about my mother publicly when my mother was being attacked viciously by prank phone callers on the Uncle Henry Show. So in a time of mama crisis, where I had a maternal crisis, where my mother was under attack by savage, vicious sleaze bags of the community, ne'er-do-wells, mischief makers, Jeff Sessions, in that time of great personal turmoil in my life, he stepped forward and publicly said kind things about my mother. So I'm in his corner. I'm going to remain in his corner. So even when the President of the United States of America, and I know you love Donald Trump, you the listener, you might even be wearing a Make America Great Again hat. I know that you feel like Donald Trump should savagely attack everyone if need be. But I thought the way he yesterday was outrageous. The stuff he told the Wall Street Journal. He downplayed Jeff Sessions' endorsement, claiming that Jeff Sessions was only endorsing him because he saw big crowds turned up for Donald Trump, and it just really disturbed me. It disturbed me to see Jeff Sessions get hammered like that. I don't like it. All right, traffic and weather together, then additional show as we move forward.
Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Well, we just aren't seeing much out there at this stage of the morning drive. The trip on I-10, for those of you coming across the Bayway this morning, is clearly starting to see a bit more traffic volume, but not enough to slow you down significantly. Quiet drive between the Eastern Shore and the Wallace Tunnel, the I-10 Escambia Bay Bridge in Pensacola, and the 3 mile up from Gulf Breeze, both in good shape as well. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life. When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes. To listen to this. Overcoming. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hello and happy Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15. We're turning the weather around today. The past couple of days, of course, have been more clouds than sun, wet, and, well, cool for July. It's more sun than clouds today, and the heat's on. We're back in the mid-90s. It will feel like it's 105, though, this afternoon, and there is only a 30% chance of storms. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hi, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. People have started to awaken and send emails. Bless your hearts. Email address unclehenry@gmail.com. I'll be getting to some of that in a moment. But first, Michael, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. I agree with you too. It's concerning how he's slamming Senator Sessions or Attorney General Sessions, and I hate to see that happen. And the Alabama delegation as a whole has always enjoyed a great bit of respect and admiration from across all lines, and I think that's kind of a blemish on it a little bit now with Sessions. And Sessions, I think, certainly is one of our more popular political figures in recent history, and I hate to see that blemish. But he also recognized you one time in one of those great events along the Gulf Coast here, and gave us all that great phrase, "Great Scott." Is that Uncle Henry?
That is true, sir. Thank you for remembering that. Yes, he did use the phrase "Great Scott," which he may be one of the only people that uses that phrase. Another reason to feel affection for Jeff Sessions.
Correct.
Well, Michael, thank you. You have a good day too. Thank you for your phone call. Now, the whole stuff about him being disappointed, okay. A lot of people agree that Jeff Sessions should not have recused himself. But then to go to the Wall Street Journal and downplay Jeff Sessions' endorsement and say that wasn't loyal, that wasn't really loyal. That really, Donald Trump is going to have to go a long way to find anybody like Jeff Sessions that'll come in and actually implement President Trump's campaign promises the way Jeff Sessions is ready to do on things like immigration. Let's talk to Reagan Girl. Good morning, Reagan Girl.
Good morning, Uncle Henry. I'm ready to spit nails. Let me just start off by saying Jeff Sessions is a man of integrity. He had President Trump's back from the very beginning. He is President of the United States, and it is time for him to put on his big boy panties and start acting like a president.
Wow.
Because of the simple fact that Jeff Sessions, he is a respected man, he is a man of integrity, and he has been in the Senate for over 30 years. He was a prosecutor here in Alabama, and he is a highly respected man. He had his back from the very beginning when everybody else turned their back on him. And it is time for him to shut up, stop the tweeting, and start acting like a president.
Wow.
And that was all I wanted to say, Uncle Henry.
All right. Thank you very much, Reagan Girl. I was also very disturbed by yesterday and the way the president was talking about Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions he's one of the few people that's willing to carry out President Trump's policies. It just doesn't make good sense to go after Sessions the way that he is.
When it comes to office machines, great service is a priority. So trust the local folks with 45 years of service right here in our area. CPC Office Technologies has built their reputation on great service. As your authorized dealer for Ricoh, Sharp, Lexmark, Muratech, and Hassler, they're your one source for digital copiers, MFPs, and mailing equipment. CPC Office Technologies, proudly celebrating 45 years of providing service that can't be copied. Online at cpctek.com.
Take care of your skin. See Dr. Thomas Bender at Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. Here we are together. Good morning. Let me take a look here and see if we do have some folks watching on Facebook. We're in the radio break, and we do have a small number of you. Good morning to you watching. And Paul in Tillman's Corner. What an honor it is to have somebody in Tillman's Corner watching the Uncle Henry Show on Facebook. Please spread the word to other Tillman's Cornerians that they could watch on Facebook. All right, we're in the radio break. We'll be back on the radio here in about 3 minutes with more Uncle Henry Show. I am going to, well, let's see. When we come back, I do have some email to get to on a variety of topics. Oh, actually, no, we're waiting for, I forgot, Bill Zimpher is calling in. He normally doesn't call in this hour, but Bill Zimpher is going to be calling in. You may not have heard it, but there's new stuff on North Korea again. So we'll hear about that from Bill Zimpher when he calls in. He is due to call in sometime in the next 3 minutes and let us know what's going on there. New threats. And there he is. All right, so stand by. When we come back, Bill Zimpher in North Korea. Heads Heating and Air Conditioning and financing at 0% interest for up to 60 months. So turn to the experts Carrier and call Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. The number is 251-653-7873. 251-653-7873. See if you qualify for that great deal on 0% interest.
Heads Heating and Air Conditioning, where 3 heads are better than 1.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Think you can't manage the down payment it takes to purchase a new home? Think again. You could move into a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Guess what, Will?
What's that, Mango?
So the best study I read this week was about a scientist who custom-made pants for rats.
He custom-made pants for rats?
Yeah, wool, cotton, everything. But the rats in polyester, they stopped mating.
That's better than a mousetrap. It's genius.
It's more than that. It's Part-Time Genius.
Part-Time Genius is our brand new show from How Stuff Works, packing incredible research, celebrity quizzes, and a giant head-scratching question into one super fun show. Search and follow Part-Time Genius on iHeartRadio now.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Porsche Traffic Center.
Well, we just aren't seeing much out there at this stage of the morning drive. The trip on I-10, for those of you coming across the Bayway this morning, is clearly starting to see a bit more traffic volume, but not enough to slow you down significantly. Quiet drive between the Eastern Shore and the Wallace Tunnel, the I-10 Escambia Bay Bridge in Pensacola, and the 3 mile up from Gulf Breeze, both in good shape as well. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Chemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Meteorologist Jake Dunn here with your forecast. We're going to go partly sunny today and hot. We're back in the middle 90s. Now we may see a storm, but the chance is small, only around 30%. We're in the mid 70s tonight, then it's middle 90s again on Thursday with a slim chance of a storm. From Local 15, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes from Fox and from Local 15. Right now, we want to welcome back to the Uncle Henry Show, NBC News Radio's Bill Zimfer. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Henry. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. And we've been paying attention to what's been going on with Jeff Sessions because he's from here, and we've been paying attention to the healthcare debate and other local things. I didn't realize that North Korea, that there's more with North Korea. Now, what did the CIA director say that got them fired up?
Well, last week, Ron Pompeo said that he talked about possible regime change. He didn't put it that way. He just talked about separating North Korea from their nuclear program, intimating that Kim Jong-un was the propelling force behind that. So North Korea got riled up about that. As a matter of fact, they released a statement yesterday saying that North Korea will, and you know, they always put it in colorful terms, Uncle Henry. They said North Korea will launch a, quote, powerful nuclear hammer at the heart of the United States if the U.S. attempts any regime change in North Korea. That was in response to Pompeo, but there are a couple of other things that have occurred over the last few days and are about to occur that have brought this back to the front burner again. Over the weekend, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Joseph Dunford, said that war with North Korea was not unimaginable and suggested, not in formal statements, but suggested that diplomacy would only be given a couple of more months before we examine other options. Then we get a new intelligence assessment from the Defense Intelligence Agency that says North Korea will be able to launch a nuclear-capable missile as early as next year. That is several years sooner than anybody thought. So you add that into the mix, and then tomorrow is the anniversary of the end of the Korean War. North Korea loves to conduct either military displays or tests on these types of anniversaries. So everybody is looking at tomorrow as a possible test of another missile system or perhaps even an underground nuclear explosion. So you add all those things together, and this is back on the front page again.
Well, and a lot of this, I think that what you just said, of all the different things you listed, the one thing that caught my attention was someone saying that war is not unimaginable. Because we were previously being told how horrific it would be that even with our superiority, there would be tremendous loss of life.
Well, you got to remember this is coming from a military guy, General Dunford, who his job is military action. And the way he put it was, he said war is not unimaginable. He added to that by saying unimaginable would be allowing a capability that would allow a nuclear weapon to land in Denver, Colorado. So he puts it that way, and I suppose to a military person, war is never unimaginable.
So what are we looking at doing? Is anybody talking about how we may respond to all this, especially the news that in a year they could have the capability to launch an attack?
Well, it has become pretty clear, Henry, that diplomacy is not going to work because South Korea just reached out to North Korea. I don't even think North Korea responded to their request. A Russian diplomat was recently told by North Korea that they will never give up their nuclear program. And, of course, any overtures by the United States or China have been rejected as well. So it appears that diplomacy is not going to work. Other options would be a regime change, which could get ugly. And as we all know, the United States has not been real successful with regime change over the past decade or so. And the only other option besides military action would be just to allow a nuclear North Korea and prepare for it defensively. So we're limited in our responses to this.
And now other countries certainly have to be as concerned. Japan, for example. I mean, other countries are concerned, aren't they?
Absolutely. Japan probably most concerned of anybody. They have the most populous areas within missile range of North Korea. Of course, South Korea, very concerned. China is concerned, but I think that China is of the stance that, North Korea is a problem, but should they decide to do something stupid, I don't think it will be in the crosshairs. That's what China is saying. So while China has made some efforts with North Korea, it appears that their patience is running out as well, but they're not ready to take any action. China, as we speak, is beefing up their facilities and their personnel along their border with North Korea.
All right. Hey, Bill Zimfer, thank you so much for the report. We appreciate it.
Hey, anytime, Henry, call on me.
There he goes, Bill Zimfer, NBC News Radio. Imagine the Japanese. They're the people that know. They know what it's like to have an A-bomb dropped on them a couple of times. And to get word that North Korea, a neighbor of theirs, is arming up and within a year is going to be capable of launching these attacks. The people, Japan has got to be, I would imagine that they may be making some changes of their own to try and defend themselves. I can imagine the tension in Japan would be tremendous over all this. All right, we have news from Fox, news from Local 15, then additional Uncle Henry Show as we continue. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stock futures are higher as investors assess the latest round of earnings and await the outcome of a Fed meeting today. Boeing's earnings beat estimates in the latest quarter while sales missed, but the jetmaker squeezed more cash from its 787 Dreamliner program and also raised its profit forecast for the year. Shares are up almost 2.5% in pre-market trading. Ford's new CEO surprised Wall Street with better than expected earnings despite familiar challenges of a slow U.S. car market. Ford also boosted its annual profit forecast. Ford still faces an aging model lineup and shares are declining in pre-market trading. And Coca-Cola's quarterly results just barely beat analyst estimates thanks to cost cutting and higher drink prices. NYMEX crude is up almost 1% this morning at $48.34 a barrel after rising 4.6% in the previous two sessions. S&P futures are up 4 points. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey, this is Hey, Facebook. Good morning, Facebook. Bama Big Man and others. Going to be going back. I'm going to listen to Darwin's news here in just a moment. So I will be dropping back off of Facebook momentarily to hear Darwin's news headlines. Darwin will be calling the show in about 20 minutes, and I want to make sure that I know the things that Darwin is paying attention to. So I will be listening to Darwin's news headlines. I got the Press Register today, and there's a story. I haven't talked about it on the radio because there's a lot of complicated stuff to say about it. It's a revamping of the Hank Aaron Loop in Mobile, downtown Mobile. Complicated in that it's just a lot of streets are mentioned and different phases of the project, but the essence of it is that this project is going to start in February and it'll end in 2023. And they're going to use millions of dollars from the federal government plus some matching money from the state and local government to revamp the Hank Aaron Loop around downtown Mobile with road improvements, sidewalks, drainage systems, bike and pedestrian lanes, stuff like that. I like that. I love infrastructure being improved. I do. Quality of life. All right, stand by. Let's listen to Darwin
Good times continue to roll at the Mobile Civic Center. Good morning. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeartRadio news update. Big events continue to come rolling in, like Mardi Gras and performances by comedian Kevin Hart, as talks of closing the Mobile Civic Center simmer down. Initially, Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimpson had plans to close it in 2018, citing major financial issues, but now the city is working on getting an assessment on the building before pulling the plug. City engineers ready to spend millions of federal dollars to improve landscaping and road conditions for travelers and pedestrians on Mobile's busy Water Street downtown. The first phase of construction, a $113,000 contract for sidewalks, was introduced at Tuesday's council meeting, should be voted on next week. In Pensacola, the state fire marshal assisting in investigating a blaze that tore through a mattress outlet store. That 2-alarm fire broke out around 4 Tuesday afternoon at the store on Fairfield Drive, but everyone got out safely. And a recent push is leading to the rehab of Oaklawn Cemetery, a graveyard that dates back to the 1930s in Mobile. Families of the men and women buried there are asking Mobile civic leaders and city leaders to create a cemetery rehab authority. Mobile Councilman Levon Manzi says he's reviewing the proposal. He will talk to the families about it. News breaks while you sleep, and when you wake, we catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton for this iHeartRadio station.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The president praising the vote yesterday to move forward with debate on health care, criticizing those not on board, telling a crowd in Youngstown, Ohio.
Any senator who votes against repeal and replace is telling America that they are fine with the Obamacare nightmare, and I predict they'll have a lot of problems.
One senator who might face problems, at least on his Twitter feed, Republican Lisa Murkowski, a no vote, who he slammed on Twitter. And Ohio's first execution in 3 years set to be carried out this morning.
The Supreme Court refusing to give Ronald Phillips more time to pursue more appeals. The justices Tuesday evening denied 3 separate requests for a stay of execution, one over the fact that Phillips was 19 when he raped and beat to death Sheila Marie Evans, his girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter.
Fox Doc Callahan, Fox News, we report, you decide.
The IRS doesn't mess around. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. If you owe back taxes, call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS program called the Fresh Start Initiative, and their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Don't delay. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-960-1575. 800-960-1575.
Celebrate your independence with a safe from Mike Ward's Liberty Safes. Come by the Mobile store for instant savings up to $1,000 off on select Liberty models in stock with 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Right now, also receive a free accessory up to $50 with every Liberty Safe purchase. It's service after the sale at Mike Ward's Liberty Safes with free delivery up to 50 miles. Why go anywhere else? Just look for the giant Liberty Safe at exit 5B, I-65 and Moffett in Mobile. Call 471-1137.
When was the last time you walked out of a mattress store feeling confident about your purchase? These places exist for one reason. For a highly trained, commission-driven salesperson to dupe you into spending way too much money on a mattress. Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm one of the co-founders of Casper. Casper was created with a single goal in mind.
And good morning, Facebook. All right, we're back on the radio in about 90 seconds with more Uncle Henry Show. Coming up, Darwin. We'll ask Darwin about the Civic Center and what's going to happen to it. Because we were told it was going to be torn down, and then people didn't like that. So we'll ask him about that and other things he's covering today when we get together with Darwin here in about 15 minutes. Right now I'm preparing for the brief daily Reagan that we have on the Uncle Henry Show, so bear with me. And I'm going to try and get to some email that has come into the Uncle Henry Show in the next couple of segments. Looking forward to that. Allegedly. All right. Stand by. We go back to radio in about 20 seconds.
And skip your way to happiness. iHeartRadio Free, iHeartRadio Plus, and iHeartRadio All Access. Powered by Napster. Pick the one that's right for you. Free radio and your music all in one app. iHeartRadio. Go to iHeartRadio.com now to upgrade.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
We've arrived at the Daily Reagan here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. The Daily Reagan, a presentation of SAD Healthcare, SAAD, sadhealthcare.com. Here is the president.
Well, a healthy America is one in which individuals can choose the work they want, start a business if they want, and those businesses can create jobs, and the jobs create a demand for housing and services, and that in turn creates more jobs as the healthy spiral continues. Let me tell you more about that healthy spiral. It's based on the simple proposition that growth is good. And it starts with a foundation of faith. Faith in the spirit of a people under God, and faith that the government will continue policies that will reward effort. And as for continuing policies that will reward effort, believe me, we will. We've tried to create an environment in which business can bloom and people can blossom.
The Daily Reagan, a presentation of SAD Healthcare, SAAD, sadhealthcare.com. Uncle Henry Show, we're going to talk with Darwin of Local 15 in about 15 minutes. Let me go into the Uncle Henry Show email inbox. I've received some emails over the course of the last couple of hours. I haven't been able to get to them. Subject line on the email is Roll Tide Unc. Email reads, "Good morning. It's a glorious looking one, wouldn't you say? I heard old McCain yesterday. He doesn't care too much for your profession, does he? LOL." And that email from 60-year-old Chris in West Loxley, who adds, "P.S. 38 days, baby. Roll Tide, roll." Chris, thank you for the Roll Tides and the countdown as we get closer to Alabama football. Roll Tide, roll. Thank you for the Roll Tides. John McCain, yes, he did go back to the Senate yesterday and advised his fellow lawmakers to stop having so much faith in what he called media blowhards.
Stop listening to the bombastic loudmouths on the radio and television and the internet. To hell with them. They don't want anything done for the public good. Our incapacity is their livelihood.
Okay, so the media blowhards, and what else did he say about them?
Stop listening to the bombastic loudmouths on the radio and television and the internet.
Bombastic loudmouths. Well, I'm sure that Mr. Limbaugh would be number one on that list. You may, if you've listened to Rush over the course of his career, Rush has been quite critical of John McCain. He has been very critical of John McCain and used to do quite a devastating John McCain impression. That's probably who John McCain was talking about.
Time saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Mazda Traffic Center.
Accident on westbound I-10 between McDonald Road and Theodore Daw is still on the board, but we have yet to note any real delay through the area there. Also, a breakdown being cleared on Old Shell Road and Hillcrest, and a crash on Autumn Ridge and Hill Vale in Mobile. Also, the Mobile Bay Ferry System running the 2 ferry schedule today. RVs and trailers 25 feet and under are being accepted. With time saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Gemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello and happy Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15. We're turning the weather around today. The past couple of days, of course, have been more clouds than sun, wet, and, well, cool for July. It's more sun than clouds today, and the heat's on. We're back in the mid-90s. It will feel like it's 105, though, this afternoon, and there is only a 30% chance of storms. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Darwin of Local 15. The informative charm of Darwin. Meanwhile, we have the highly likable Angelo of Mobile Bay Coins back with us. Angelo, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Angelo, I know I've probably talked to you about this on the air before, about how I was, when it comes to things like Amazon Prime Day, that I wasn't sure if I was getting a deal or not. And there was a story out, Fox Business, some vendor is claiming that they've got an item that sells for $9.99, and they noticed that on Amazon Prime Day that Amazon jacked the price up, doubled the price, and then discounted it back down to its regular price, letting people think they were getting a deal when they were actually paying the regular full retail price.
I am not surprised at all that Amazon did something like that. Not at all.
Well, that's one business claiming that, but the Federal Trade Commission is looking into all these claims.
Well, I'm sure. And it's one of those things you really got to look at closely. The problem is, the challenge with something like Amazon is they have so many products and items out there that you're going to be looking at or possibly buying. It's hard to closely research every one of them if you're in that rush and excitement of trying to get the deal that day. You know, it's almost like shopping on a Black Friday. You're rushing around, hurrying around, grabbing things that you think are a good deal, and they're not necessarily nearly as good a deal as what you expect.
It's interesting that we're so psychologically, we just love that thought that we're getting a deal.
Mm-hmm.
We just love it.
And there's a lot of companies out there that like to take advantage of that. And I know we've talked about that a lot on the air before. There are companies out there that deal in rare coins and gold and silver like we do. And what they will typically do is they will give you a really good deal on one particular item. And it really is a good deal. They're being upfront about that. But then as soon as they've done that, they will start offering you additional items and additional things, and you've not done the homework and the research on those. And when you purchase those particular items, that's where they're making their money and taking advantage of you. And Amazon Prime, I'm not saying Amazon did that, but Amazon and other companies do similar things. When you purchase an item on their website, you look down below, they're going to say, since you bought that, you may want to buy this item here. You may want to buy that item there. What they're doing is leading you into other items that they can sell you and make a bunch of money on.
Well, but we all have to be as careful as we can in these situations. Now, I had a great time at Mobile Bay Coins yesterday. Angelo was showing me some accessories to begin our show yesterday, things you can use to keep coins safe, and also some unusual, a great gift idea. You have some custom coin, I guess you'd call them frames, where you can. They are. You had things I'd never heard of, like a 1/2 cent, a 2-cent piece, really unusual things.
Well, actually, that holder is actually called the unusual U.S. unusual type coins. And so a lot of folks out there, like we talked about, they want to collect coins. They don't know where to start. They start looking at some of these big sets, and it's a little
lost Angelo. But go look at that frame. These odd coins. I never knew there was a 2-cent coin or a 20-cent coin. Mobile Bay Coins, 2204 Government Street, Midtown Mobile. Look for Mobile Bay Coins on Facebook and at mobilebaycoins.com.
The Glenn Beck program introduces a new eve. The eve of global war. Celebrate with your family and friends. Today at 5, News Radio 710, WNTM.
Please listen to an important clinical research opportunity. Are you 50 years or older and have been hospitalized recently or plan to be soon? Doctors are looking for volunteers for a research study evaluating an investigational vaccine designed to protect against Clostridium difficile, or C. diff, bacteria that can cause frequent diarrhea, abdominal pain, and inflammation of the colon, which, when severe, can be life-threatening. Patients with increased exposure to healthcare facilities and those who have taken antibiotics are at a higher risk of getting sick. If you have had multiple visits to the emergency room, frequent visits to the doctor, or hospitalizations of at least 2 nights in the last year, you may qualify. To learn more about this study and to see if you qualify, visit clovertrial.com or call 1-877-296-9458. That's www.clovertrial.com or 1-877-296-9458.
For the best home theater design, equipment, and installation, call TSI Alarms and Audio. Call 251-662-0500 or visit them online at thetsigroup.com. That's TSI Alarms and Audio.
Listen to Mo Brooks, a never-Trump politician personally attacking Donald Trump.
I don't think you can trust Donald Trump with anything he says. Donald Trump is the likely loser in that he has alienated so many people in Republican Party ranks through his callous insults. Donald Trump, one candidate that is so belittling, so insulting. I was just asked if I'm going to endorse Donald Trump after things unfold with Donald Trump having this so-called insurmountable lead, and I said, no, I'm not. Donald Trump voters, 12 to 18 months from now, they're going to regret their votes for Donald Trump.
A month before the election, Talk Radio asked Mo Brooks if he was voting for Trump. Brooks responded, I didn't say that.
That means you're going to vote for Donald Trump. I didn't say that.
Days before the election, Mo Brooks even called Donald Trump evil. Brooks.
And good morning, Facebook. Here we are. We're waiting. Well, maybe you're not, but I'm waiting for telephonic contact with Darwin. So I am watching the phone line for Darwin's call. While I'm watching the phone line for Darwin's call, there's a news story out of Michigan. They have a Supreme Court in Michigan. Michigan Supreme Court rules that you can get charged with DUI even if you're just in your driveway and have not left your driveway. There was a man, neighbors called the police about noise complaints, and they showed up at this guy's house, and he was in his driveway driving in and out of his garage. And he tested at way above the legal limit, but he never left his driveway. He just drunk drove in and out of the garage. And so he got charged with DUI, and it went all the way to the Michigan Supreme Court. And lower courts found in his favor, but the Supreme Court said, no, you can be charged with drunk driving even in your own driveway because other motor vehicles could have tried to come into the driveway and they could have been harmed. So just, if you had planned something like this, don't even try it in your driveway. All right, stand by. We're waiting for the Darwin call.
Under are being accepted. With time saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Meteorologist Jake Dunn here with your forecast. We're going to go partly sunny today and hot. We're back in the middle 90s. Now we may see a storm, but the chance is small, only around 30%. We're in the mid 70s tonight, then it's middle 90s again on Thursday with the slim chance of a storm. From Local 15, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM. The Jag. News headlines coming up in about 10 minutes from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin. We're awaiting Darwin's call. While we await the call from Darwin, let me go into the email inbox. Subject line on the email is Roll Tide Roll. Email reads, "Good morning, Uncle Henry and Ariel. Hope you're doing well this morning, ? Streaming you on the big screen with YouTube this morning and enjoying the show. I'm a little disturbed about Sessions being chastised by the president, too. I want to see what he could accomplish in the first 4 years of this administration. But in the meantime, we're getting closer and closer to kickoff, 38 days and counting. I'm extremely ready for some Bama football. Have a great day, my Tide brother." Roll Tide Roll, and that email from Bama Big Man. Bama Big Man, thank you for your Roll Tides. Always appreciative to receive as many Roll Tides as I can. And yes, I'm also extremely ready for Alabama football, and I do enjoy the fact that you see me as a brother linked together due to our enjoyment of the Alabama Crimson Tide. So, thank you for that. And yes, still looking forward to a call from Darwin, if it does come in. Now, I do have a call from a caller. Now, if Darwin calls in during this call, I will be disconnecting. No offense to the caller, but I will be disconnecting the caller rapidly. Bill, good morning.
Good morning. I just wanted to make a couple of quick observations. First of all, do you think it's possible that Trump listens to your radio show? Did you notice today's headlines? I remember there was a certain person in politics here who was often quoted as saying, "Time holds the answer to everything." And,
yes.
And in the headlines of today's paper, I think he's saying, "In time, we'll all know."
Wow, that could be.
Maybe the influence of your show is just so vast we don't really even realize where it goes.
That would be a wonderful thing if this show could influence the free world.
Second point, if I've got a second,
yes,
is to say that in terms of Trump's attacks on Sessions, who we all know is one of the most honorable, honest human beings in the face of the globe, and also one of the least supportive of Russia. I mean, the idea that Sessions would collude with Russia is beyond laughable. I mean, it's to the point of, anybody but Jeff Sessions.
Well, right. He very seriously is one of the most nationalist senators you're going to find in either party. He would he'd be the last one that would team up with Russia.
What Trump has managed to do is he's put CNN and MSNBC in a box. Because what are they doing now? They're supporting Jeff Sessions.
Right.
Think about it. They're caught between a rock and a hard place. Do they attack Jeff Sessions because he's really doing some fabulous things out there? No, they can't attack him because Trump is attacking him. So they've got to go the other way. I think it's a brilliant move.
Okay, well, I like that spin.
I mean, Jeff is going to be fine. I mean, if he were to leave the administration, which I certainly sincerely hope he does not, But if he were, he's got a future. I mean, nobody needs to worry about Jeff. He's going to be fine. But I think he's achieving everything he's after, and I think Trump is achieving everything that he could hope Sessions could do, except for the recusal. And the recusal really is a serious weapon, because once you allow someone to start investigating with no limit, I don't care who you are, I could find something. If I spend enough time going through your records, your friends' records, your friends' friends' records, I'll find something.
Right, absolutely.
You know, I mean, there's nobody that doesn't have something. I don't care how careful you are, how honest you are, how much you try. We've all got something. And if they just give an unlimited portfolio to all these Democrats, and keep in mind, these guys are serious investigators who know how to turn people, how to get somebody and make him talk and make him say whatever they want him to say. So, you know, will they get somebody who says that he knows somebody who did something? Sure, of course they can. And that's what Mueller's people are doing. So, I mean, it's going to be a phony investigation no matter what, because it's all one-sided, and it's all to try to delegitimize the president.
Right, and your point is well taken about the special counsel. We saw where the special prosecutor with the Clintons ended up. He started on one thing and ended up with Monica Lewinsky. So you can really start with one thing and go anywhere you want. And when you're a prosecutor, when you're hired to prosecute, you prosecute. Bill, thank you for your phone call. Thank you for your phone call. So Darwin, I've been anxiously waiting the Darwin call. It may be next hour that we hear from Darwin. I wanted to ask him about this story about the Mobile Civic Center. Local 15's reporting that the city of Mobile, the SMG is continuing to book the Civic Center. In fact, there are different events booked through April of 2018, and now there's somebody is doing an assessment of the facilities. Some firm is assessing not just the Civic Center but all city properties, and they're going to get the results of that facilities assessment in October. So the future of the Civic Center, it's as up in the air as it's ever been, it looks like. Even though it looked like it was set for the wrecking ball at one point. All right, look, we've got news coming up and then more show. Uncle Henry Show continues.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Think you can't manage the down payment it takes?